Welcome back to another review. I've done a couple today, so I hope you're not getting bored of them. Next in my lineup, in my C's, I've skipped a couple. I'll probably go back to them, but this one I really wanted to do because these albums I'm going to show you, these are originals that I've had since I was like in grade 8, grade 9. And I really love this artist. He was part of a lot of bands, a lot of big bands. Probably one of the first hard rock trio of all time, and we'll get to that. But first, to the records. I'm talking about Clapton, Slow Hand, or God, however you want to refer to him. Now, I prefer to refer to him as God because of all the graffiti that was sprayed in England in the mid to late 60s. Clapton is God. People hadn't heard guitar like that. You had a lot of guitarists before Clapton, obviously very bluesy, but Clapton was one of the first to come along that made the guitar cantable. It had a singing sound. It had a cry. It had emotion. And I haven't heard guitarists before him, even the old blues guitarists, to be honest, do it in such a varied way that he did. Now, Clapton started his career quite young, and he eventually joined Cream. Now, Cream, which I'll get into because they're coming up, and I want to do a great review on that one too, but Cream was the first hard rock trio of superstars. Eric Clapton, Ginger Baker, Jack Bruce. That's where I feel Clapton did his best work, was with Cream. Because they pushed each other musically, and it was magic. It was magic. It was magic, in case you missed that. And they did some amazing work on Cream. When Clapton left Cream, he felt like he'd done all he could, that he'd exhausted that avenue, and like a true bluesman, and he was the true bluesman, one of the last, him, Keith Richards, these guys. He left and he started, what was the name of that album? Gonna have to look it up. Can't remember. I think it was self-titled Clapton in 1970. And it was a real bluesy affair. Now, Clapton at the time was starting to struggle with cocaine, with heroin addiction, all sorts of things. And he came out at the end of the tunnel after a lot of rehab with this album, 461 Ocean Boulevard. Now, this was a very important album. This is the home and the address that he went to clean himself up, get off drugs. And he did it. And he did it with a true masterpiece. This album is fantastic. So if you get any chance to listen to 461, I highly recommend it. I Shot the Sheriff, huge hit, remake of Bob Marley. Willie and the Hand Jive, Let It Grow. There's a lot of really great songs on here. And he did a few albums after that. No Reason to Cry, mid-70s. I should say by this time Clapton was really getting into the booze. The drugs, for the most part, had left him, and he'd really gotten into the booze heavy. And slowly trying to work out his demons. He didn't play for quite some time. And eventually he played the Rainbow Concert. Some of his friends, Pete Townsend from The Who, and a lot of people came out to play at this concert. And it was to get Clapton out, get him back out into the audience and get him playing. And I think that's a great thing because, he did some fantastic stuff. I also have Clapton's Crossroads box set. It's got a lot of his stuff. Like, if you zoom on there, you can see how many hits are on that, from Cream, from like all sorts of era from his time. There's just all sorts of hits on that one. Slow Hand, this is probably his most popular work. Now, why was Clapton called Slow Hand? Interesting. When he would go off stage to change a guitar string or take a break or something like that, the crowd would develop a slow hand clap. And then slowly it would get faster and faster and faster and faster. But it started slow, and he got the name Slow Hand, the slow hand clap. This album, Slow Hand, Cocaine, Wonderful Tonight, Lay Down Sally, like classics on here. Fantastic stuff. His remake of J.J. Cale's Cocaine, I like them both equally, to be honest. J.J. Cale did an amazing job on that one, but Clapton's is great too. As he got further on in his career, he started to get real ballady. Did a lot of ballads and stuff like that, but no ballad was more important than the one he did on, I think it's 1994's MTV Unplugged. I don't have that record. I have the CD somewhere, actually. And he did the song Tears in Heaven for his son who died. He was 3 or 4 and he fell out of an apartment window and died. And that's Tears in Heaven is a very touching song. It's not a song I listen to often because it's so sad, but he did it with such emotion and such passion. Like he has his entire career. This guy puts his heart on his guitar, and you can hear it. That's why I love Slow Hand so much. He really was able to play and portray his instrument in such diverse ways and so well. Yeah, a lot of stories. I could keep going on about Clapton, but you can tell, how big he is to me. Hopefully, if you're interested in maybe getting into Clapton's music, some of those albums I just mentioned, definitely. We've heard a lot of Clapton on the radio too, but if you want to really take a really good plunge into how good a guitarist he was, listen to The Cream. They're coming up pretty quick. Thanks for watching.